Stay tuned for that. What now I'm going to do now is actually take the Mini apart for you, and show you some possible problems that you might encounter, issues rather. I wouldn't really call them problems, and how to keep your Mini functioning, how to stay out of trouble. These are things you really don't have to mess with them, and I'll actually show you a way to get better efficiency on it. When I first got this thing, I had a I'll show you this real quick. My tank. Quick little shout out to all the people in the armed services, you know, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. You know, thanks for serving under the red, white, and blue stars and stripes. So I can keep doing what I like to do, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing. And my friend Austin, he's in the Guard, and he's the one who had this pack for me. So every time I can play paintball and pick this thing up, it reminds me of him. Stay safe. Look after yourself. So that's my little thing on the forces. This is a very common tank. This is your pure energy, 48 cubic inch, 3,000 PSI tank. No air in this tank. I had 2,000 PSI in this thing, and I shot 100 balls, 1,000 PSI. Another 100 balls to a sputter, dropped it all the way down. So I had 300 shots a tank. That's completely ridiculous. I'm not even sure what was going on. I tweaked it a little bit, shot it some more. Everybody's saying break your Mini in. The more shots you fire, the better it's going to get. I believe that. And one thing I did, like I said earlier, with the spring kit, that puts it in, and that's really going to help out. I also went invert on the tank Zephyr paintball that had a sale on tanks. I wanted a 4,500 PSI tank, and you really should get a 4,500 PSI tank if you can. This is cheaper. This costs, I think you can get about $35, $40. This one was, I think, 112. This is I'm not sure you can see that. Also has an invert logo on it. This is a 56 cubic inch, 4,500 PSI tank. They say you can. They say that you can get 1,000 shots off this tank. That's yet to be proven. And I'll have an efficiency test. I'll probably do that at my field later today. So I believe this on a full fill is worth 2 of these on a full fill, and you get twice the air. This weighs less and is roughly the same size. Not to mention, I kind of like the white finish. Kind of like an eggshell like. So, I already put my rotor away, but this is it makes for a really light setup. So that's this part of the Invert Mini show, and I think I missed something, and I'll go back. I still have to cut and edit this video, so I'm going to move the camera, set it up, and we're going to take this thing apart. So for attacking the gun, as always, you got to take the air out. There's no air in this tank, so it's not going to go psst or anything. No paintballs, make sure your gun's safe. This doesn't really have there's no air that's stored in the gun once you take it off. There's no check valve type thing. So first thing you gotta do is remove the barrel. Like I said earlier, if you have any vibration, you might want to put a tank O-ring there, and that'll really snug up your barrel. And I'll just show you the bare essentials that you actually have to take your gun apart. It's very nice. So you're going to take your Allen key. Be nice if I got the right size. Actually, I think this is the right size. Yep. And it's kind of hard to see with my hands in the way. Boom. Screw out. And depending on how stiff your spring is, this whole end might pop out. If not, stick your finger down in the breech. Well, you might be able to get from here. My finger's not long enough. Usually I stick it down in the breech and push it out. It shouldn't actually be this tough. Am I missing something? That was weird. So, stick your finger down in the breech. It should pop out. The whole assembly might come out. If it doesn't, take your little finger, stick it in, pull out the rest of your assembly. I have my brother. I did shop paint my Mini. I have to admit that. So, but it was no big deal. My brother, he was dumb enough when he turned it on. He was holding down the trigger, and you turn this thing on, holding down the trigger with the stock Optimus 1.2 or 1.3 board. You're gonna turn the eyes off. So when he started to rip on it, no eyes, chops paint. So if anybody is looking to get a really, really cheap gun, either go with a Tippmann gun that has a cyclone feed or a gun that has eyes, because you need to have a paintball completely in the breech before your gun even attempts to fire, and Tippmann has accomplished that. Okay, so if you have the spring kit, this would be where you install your spring. The springs in the Tech T kit are directional. They should be in the NDZ kit too, as well as a stock spring. They are directional. I have some scratching on my bolt, but that shouldn't affect performance. Springs are directional, so if you put them on the wrong way, it's not going to stick. They're directional for a reason, so just make sure it's on there. It's sticking real good, and take some Dow 33 and lube this thing up. Lube light, lube often. So, you know, everybody loves their gun. They love to take it apart. So, you know, if you take it apart often, you can lube it often, but don't glob it on there, you know, really, really light. Just lube every O-ring. Just really, really light, because if you get it globbed on there, stuff is going to stick and all this and all that. So just save yourself the trouble, avoid the problems, and be very, very moderate with the amount of lube that you put on there. And you don't really have to lube after every game, you know. If you go out and shoot a case of paint or two, you know, don't worry about it unless you broke paint. Your gun should be ready to rock and roll for next weekend, and everything stays on there. And that's pretty much all you have to do maintaining the Invert Mini. There's a pin back here that lines up, and you slot this whole assembly back into the gun. And the spring is kind of trying to fight me now. Screw goes back in, and that's all the maintenance you actually have to do on the Mini. One thing that you could do, and I didn't do it because my squeegee's at my friend's house, is you have like a battle swap or something, you can actually run it completely through there, clean out the eyes, the detents, and everything. So that's as far as you actually have to go. And I will show you, I guess, one more thing. I really don't recommend taking your Mini apart any further than that, because I did, and I think that's how I broke it. The ASA, I had a little bit of wiggle in my ASA, so I took these grip panels off so I could actually access the screws, and I think that's how I broke something there. The lower gas transfer tube, I think it's part 49 on the inventory sheet. That's the part that I broke, and Key had to put another one on for me when I sent it to the factory. So that's all you have to do with the Invert Mini. I will show you how to change the modes, just because I'm sick of everybody not instructing you how to change the modes the best. And this is going to be a little bit tricky if the camera can't pick up the light. I'm not sure what size Allen key this is. Like I said earlier, they use Imperial Allen keys, that's inches, and it's the second smallest Allen key in your toolkit that comes with all your correct size Allen keys. Okay, like I said earlier,